Hi guys, it's Michelle here from Walkingtwobytwo. How's it all going with the COVID-19? I hope that you're all keeping well and healthy, and I also hope that you're all getting out on the trail or a hiking trail, or just stepping out of your front door and being able to go for a walk. It depends where you are in the world and what your rules are, but hopefully this will all pass soon and we can all get back to our hiking, because it doesn't matter where you are in the world. At the moment it is hiking season, whether you're in the northern hemisphere or like us down in the southern hemisphere. It's coming into our autumn and our winter and spring, which is when we hike. In the northern hemisphere it's your spring, summer and autumn, which is when you mainly do your hiking. So yeah, it's hard when your hiking season's going past and you know you can't get out onto those trails. But it'll all pass, you know, in the whole scheme of things. On the timeline of life, it's only a small dot. So we will be able to get back out there, and soon. But in the meantime, why not get prepared? Get your food ready, learn new skills, train with your backpack on, even if it means walking around your yard with your backpack on. Get your body used to your backpack. Put your shoes on, your hiking shoes, your hiking boots, your trail runners, whatever it is that you wear on your feet. Now, talking about hiking shoes, I'm actually going to do this video is on how to tie your shoelaces. Whether you wear boots like myself or you wear trail runners, we all have different feet and they perform differently and they react differently to what we are doing and depending on what we're doing. So we have to acknowledge the fact that our feet need to be treated differently at different times. And to help our feet along the way, we can learn to tie our shoelaces in different ways. If you're out on a hiking trail and your feet start to complain and start to hurt, try and work out why. Why is it doing what it's doing? Why am I getting a blister on that toe or the heel? Why is my big toe now turning black? Now, there are a lot of things that happen, and regularly. There are so many ways you can tie your shoelaces. I'm just going to give you a few different techniques, and hopefully they'll help you out along the trail. As always, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to click that subscribe button, and also leave a comment. You know, I've had a lot of messages, private messages, which is great lately, of people just saying hi, and that's absolutely lovely. I hear a lot of you are out there dehydrating at the moment. I've been getting a lot of photos sent to me of the food that you're creating. Well done. That's just fantastic that you lot have watched my videos and you're now giving it a go and you're creating your own meals for the trail. So if you haven't yet watched that, check out my Feed the Hike series. I will leave the link below. I've also got a book, Feed the Hike, and yes, you can order that online, and I will get it straight to you. Yeah, let's go tie some shoelaces. Okay, so we're going to do the surgeon's knot or the fisherman's knot, or it's actually got a few names for it. It just basically prevents slippage of the laces, especially when you've got the round laces. I always find the round laces slip and tend to undo a lot more than the flat laces. My preference is the flat, but you know, these ones came with the round, so that's what I use. Okay, so the basic knot is you cross over once, tuck it under, and cross over it again, tuck it under, and pull. And that just holds all these laces below it that you've already tightened in place. They won't loosen while you continue on. So we'll do it one more time. Yeah, don't you feel like you're back in kindergarten learning how to do your knots, tie your shoelaces? It's quite funny. But it will help you in the long run. Okay, so we cross it over, tuck it under. So you've got the one, cross it over, tuck it under, and pull. It's very, very handy one to do. Let's do the basic boot tie. Okay, this method is the way that we all do when we first get our boots. when you try them on in the store. So basically it's just simple crisscross of the laces, as we already have here, all the way up, and we just continue to crisscross, hook into the eyelets, crisscross, and then I always do tuck it over, pull, and that holds it, and then you can tie shoelace. And I do that again. Okay, so that's just the basic how to tie your shoelace. Now there are a lot of different variants to this one that you can do. So say for example, you want to prevent your foot from sliding forward, but you're only going to do the basic. Make sure, like at the moment, I'm pushing my heel back to here, so I've got a lot of toe room there. And these shoes are a good size bigger than I would normally buy for a normal pair of shoes. So there's a lot of wiggle room in there, which is good because I can tighten it up with my laces so that I don't end up with blisters and injuries. So I push my heel all the way back, nice and hard. Make sure these laces are firm, but not too tight, okay? To keep them in place, do my little fisherman's knot there, okay? And then I will do it again there. And then tie them up as normal, okay? So, and having that tighter just around this spot here will prevent my foot from slipping forward, especially on those really sharp downhill runs. You don't want your foot to slip forward, otherwise you're going to end up jamming your big toe, and more than likely you'll end up with blisters or you'll lose your big toenail, and that's not fun and it hurts. So always remember, if you want to stop the jam of your foot as you go down, tighten it around this spot here, and that should help. If you're someone who suffers from high arches, unfortunately I don't, my arches are dropping from too much walking, but if you suffer from high arches and you're feeling the pressure up the top of your foot, whether you're wearing a trail runner or a boot, or your feet might be swollen from days and days of trekking and your feet have just swollen, or you've done an injury, or whatever it is that is causing you pain on this part of your foot. Now you have to remember, you have a lot of nerves that run through here and on your feet, and there's ligaments here, and they're quite close to the surface of the skin, so you will feel it more sensitive on here if your foot is swollen or it sits high up into your boot. So to combat that, there are a few methods that you can do. One, I learned from an English guy who had told me, because I was having trouble, to stick down here some padding. So it gave me a little bit of extra padding between my skin, the top of my foot, and where the lace is tied. And that really did take the pressure off and made a huge difference. Also, you find your feet on your feet day in and day out when you're on a trek. So you could be on your feet for 6, 8, 10, sometimes even 12 or longer hours. It depends on what you're doing and how far you're going. And then you're doing it again the next day. So your feet are just constantly swelling. And when that happens, then yes, you can end up with the pain and discomfort up the top here. Sit down at lunch and take shoes off. Take your boots, your trail runners, whatever it is that you hike in, take them off and put your feet up in the air and let it all run back down again. At the end of the day, do the same thing. I often will lie on the ground and put my feet up on a log or whatever it is, or just lie on the ground and hold my feet up in the air. And this will also help prevent the swelling from the day in, day out of being on your feet. Change the way you tie your laces. So I've got the normal crisscross for the first few, and then what I'm going to do is skip this part here and not have any of that pressure of these laces going across. So we're going to keep that bit bare. So what you do is you put your laces in like this, up that way, Okay, you can pull that nice and snug, so this bit down here where it's not so high is nice and firm still, making sure your heel is pushed to the back of your boot so that your foot is in your boot properly and not too far forward. Okay, now you can, depending on your foot, you can go another one up before tying off, or one might be enough. So you try it and see how it feels on your foot. Now I'm going to cross over, one, through. So it's a surgeon's knot or fisherman's knot. Pull that. So it's firm but not too tight. Okay. And then put it through there. Nice and firm. Crisscross and continue to tighten up your shoes the way you would normally do it. Okay, so this bit here, as you can see, is free from any pressure. Okay, and make sure that your heel is back and this is nice and firm so that your foot doesn't move around. So give that a go. I think you'd be surprised at how much of a difference it makes. If you've got narrow feet, which is not an issue I have, because I don't know if you can tell how big my feet are, I've got really big feet. But if you do have narrow feet, or you're like me in the sense that you have big feet but I can't fit into female shoes, I've got to wear the men's, and the men's are quite wide on some brands. So this will help you bring this in nice and firm over here, so that you don't move around so much. What we're going to do, put it in there. So we'll just put it in like that. So we've got little loops on the side, like little ears. Okay, cross this over, put it in. Okay, so I'll show you that again. Cross this one over, put it in through that ear loop. And this one we're going to cross over and put it in through this ear loop. Like that. We're going to give it a little bit of a pull. And then as we cross them over again, that just brings it all in. I'll just hook that up there so you can see. You can do that twice if you wanted to. Depends on how wide or narrow your foot is. But now that we give that a nice tug, it's bringing the boot in. It's bringing that in. So this is all coming in nice and firm. And it's quite comfortable as well. So now that we've done that, we can go up even higher. If we wanted to pull this in here up the top. Now we've only got the eyelets. So because it's a narrow, you've got a narrow foot, do your surgeon's knot there. Make sure that's all nice and firm. You're going to skip an eyelet and hook it up like that. And this side, do the same, hook it up. And we're going to do another fisherman's knot here and cinch it in. And then hook down onto the bottom eyelets and then tie. So this in fact is really, really firm, really snug. There's no movement of my foot in here, because if your foot's moving around, you're going to cause friction, which is going to end up causing blisters. Let's just say that I have trail runners, which I don't actually have trail runners. They don't work for me, and that's okay. So we're all going to use our imaginations now and pretend that this beautiful leather boot is now a trail runner. And trail runners work well for some people. They seem to move around really well in them. I've never been able to, unfortunately. I've tried, and they just don't do well on my feet. So, pretending that we don't have this part of the boot, these are trail runners. I don't even have a pair of sneakers to show you. Normal pair of sneakers, isn't that terrible? I have boots. Okay, so we're gonna do the ear eyelets again. So all we're gonna do is thread from this eyelet to this eyelet, and put the little ear hooks through. Cross this one over and in through that ear hook. Cross this one over and in through that ear hook. And we're going to pull and then tie. Now doing that, if you're within your trail runners, that will secure that nice and firm around there, so that your foot does not lift up and down, causing a nasty blister on the back here, which you really don't want the blister on the back. Sometimes you might feel that having it tied, the knot tied at the top, and whether it's in leathers or trail runners or whatever shoe may be, you might find that having the knot at the top can be annoying. And often when I do my shoes, I will not tie them at the very top. So what you do is you go to the top one first, missing the eyelet, come down and then tie off here. So it's nice and firm around there, but it's not aggravating this part of your leg, especially when you're bending a lot. And that's the way I tie my shoes for the majority of the time. There are many more different ways to tie your boots and your trail runners out there. These are just a few of the simple ways. I could give you a lot more, but that's just too overwhelming. What I think you should do is give it a go. Try different methods of lacing up your boots. So let me know how it goes, if it's helped. It'd be good to hear if it's helped you.